Elise, congratulations.
Thank you.
You have been awarded the third prize in the Christopher Tower Poetry Competition for 2023. How does it feel to be among our winners?
Honestly, I didn't quite believe it. I mean, everyone says that. So I think just being here in general was amazing. But no, when it was announced, I waited for my name up until the point, and then my name didn't come, and I was like, oh my God, it's even better than I thought. So.
It's a really wonderful poem, Future of Space Travel, circa 1783. I remember reading this and sitting up and paying attention. It was one of the first poems in the many hundreds and hundreds that we read that really caught my eye and caught my ear. And I think partly because it's set in the past when we had so many poems about the contemporary moment. Can you tell us a little bit about how this poem came about?
I'm really into 18th century history, specifically the year 1783. So around that, there was, the first hot air balloon to go up was one of the big events of the time. And then looking into the life of the aeronaut, I just thought that the irony of him being the first man to go up and then the first man to die was really upsetting. And then also, at the time there was Elon Musk was talking about his whole Mars trip, and I thought that it just sort of the hubris, I suppose, echoed.
Yeah, we really feel that echo of the contemporary period. I think in the last words in particular, a warning gasp, and the poem is a kind of warning tale about hubris, but it's also, as the poem tells us, a story about desire. And I love the way it sort of announces that here is a story about desire. There's this sort of turn in the poem where the poem becomes a little bit more self-conscious about the telling of something, which struck me as a very mature thing in a poem of someone at your stage of career. Why do you think you chose to step out of the action of the poem, in a sense, to do that sort of storytelling?
I think when writing it, my first draft didn't have that. Instead, it was more focused on just empathizing with the aeronaut. But I suppose from the past to the present, you need some sort of step, whether it's, I guess, forwards or back. And I thought that a step out of the poem, to look at the two side by side, would make it more complete, I suppose, a complete like two falls.
And there are lots of images of sort of two-ness, two hands, and I love the clarity of the apple sky and then the figure of Atlas that appears in the poem. Tell us a little bit about the poems that you love, or some of the poets that you've read. Who are some of the people who have maybe influenced your own writing, do you think?
A little cliched, but I'm massively into Richard Sykin, specifically his second book, the War of the Foxes. It completely left my head for a moment, where he has these sort of like painterly type images that are poems, but they're at the same time as being sort of old-fashioned paintings, like walking through a gallery. They're also like looking at just human history and human desire, and I thought that was amazing. So if any of that shows up, then that is not a coincidence.
Will you read the poem for us, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Future of Space Travel, circa 1783. The hot air balloon rises, and the man inside reaches for the apple sky with two soft hands. He thinks that he could hold its weight the way a fish bears the ocean on its back, unthinking, that it would sink and settle round each shoulder joint, each human curve. He reaches, dreaming Atlas, dares to hope that the press of blue to shoulders, sun to spine, the weight of sky on hands will leave in the bareness some fingerprint. Here is a story about desire. The first man to go up in a hot air balloon was the first to die in one. His balloon sliced the clouds neatly, a second fall, bearing white flesh and canvas, seeds and core. It was red, and when the fabric tore, the hot air inside burst out a warning gasp. And yeah, Jean-François Pilote de Rosier was the first aeronaut.
Thank you so much. I feel like this poem is at once an education and just a series of extraordinary images that speak to the past and the present at the same time. So congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.